win. Um, Something that I want to just bring a little light on, something that me, thank you, Crystal. I just saw something that me and my leaders, like something that I'm going to be very transparent with as a leader. I feel like what I've done up to this point has worked for me up till this point. And now in order to get to the next level, I had to really focus on awareness. And so like you've seen me be a little quieter over February, some of January. And honestly, I was growing, and I'm going to be very transparent with that. I was growing because as a leader, sometimes you have to call yourself out on some of the BS that you're doing, or maybe not being aware of, or maybe that you need to start implementing or creating more duplication within my downline. And one of the things that I started noticing about just my tribe in general is I wanted to form more of a community, more of a culture, more of just more of leadership, not just being like my tribe. It's about all of you guys. And I found myself in micromanagement mode, which is operating out of fear. And I had to call myself out of that because in order for me to be a 200K leader, I need to start being aware of how I need to show up for you all. And one of those were implementing more of my leaders. I have such amazing, every single one of you is a leader, like straight up. It doesn't matter about a rank. It doesn't matter about a volume. Every single one of you has something in you that is needing to be tapped into. And so it's my job and all of your leaders and upline's job to help bring that out of you and help your potential grow and help you really just shine for who you are, not Katie, Kiana, Krissa, Gia, Crystal, Lindsay, whatever leader you look at and look up to, you're not them and you're never going to be them. So I have been really, really focused on making sure that my leaders, like my 4K and 12K leaders that are leading from the front and I can match efforts to, are being able to shine so that we can have different safety nets that we feel comfortable enough to learn from and grow from. It's not just me. It's not I as in team. I need all of you. And so as a leadership group, we've been having leadership trainings and really kind of diving deep together, getting raw with some of the things that we need to help all of you guys grow in. And some of the topics that I've been noticing are branding. And I want to dive a little bit into this, and then I'm going to kind of just call on a couple people just on some of the things that they've been like working on a little bit. So they have no idea I'm going to call on them. So surprise. Don't worry, Crystal. I won't put you on the spot right away. I'm just kidding. No, but the biggest thing is I want to focus on branding because this is how you connect to your audience. How you connect to your audience is by embracing your potential and putting out content that aligns with you. Kiana did a very amazing training on business coaching and mentoring and leadership and helping you embrace that more, but also helping you guys connect to you. And the biggest thing is what makes you you. Yes, you hear about all these fives lists. Honestly, you guys, and I'm going to be straight up with you, fives lists were really hard for me to connect to right away because I was like, well, I know what how the products make me feel. I know what the business does for me. I know, but there was a disconnect, and Kiana helped me with this, and that's why I want to reference her on this because I had a hard time taking myself back to day one. And that is a huge disconnect for me as a leader because you guys are all growing and no one's path is going to be the same. No one's like it's not a race. It's not about how fast you get to a rank or how much volume you have underneath you. It's about your growth and awareness. And we all grow differently. And so in order to get to your potential, so it takes you really connecting to what makes you you. So when we talk about fives lists and we talk about these things, I know and you guys make sure you're asking questions. If you guys have questions on this, just drop in as well. But when it comes to what makes you you, people are like, well, I don't know how to post consistently on a daily basis because there's things that aren't always on my heart. Well, what are you going through right now? What are you growing in? Vulnerability is not a bad thing, you guys. Vulnerability is a superpower. And if you are in these situations where you're like, well, I'm in debt right now. How am I supposed to represent my business? Or maybe I'm not even enrolled anyone in the last 2 months. Or maybe you haven't enrolled anyone in the last couple weeks. And so you're sitting there and comparing yourself to Sally Sue over there that's enrolling like hotcakes. I don't know. But I'm just using this as an example because I know that we get in that trap. You need to stop comparing your journey to theirs and embrace the struggles or embrace the moments that you're growing in, because those moments are meant to be shared. There is someone out there that is going through something similar. It doesn't have to be the struggle bus all the time. For me, you guys, and I'm going to be very transparent, I've been trying to connect into being real about leadership, because leadership is hard. It's not easy. My leader saw me cry last week because I finally was like, I just want more community. I need to be vulnerable with you guys. I need to connect with you guys more. And as a leader, it's hard sometimes. And there's levels of awareness that I wasn't even seeing. And in order to get to the next level, you have to become aware. And awareness is the first step to change. So when you're connecting to your content, I always am telling you guys, do like an hour of, not even an hour, like 30 minutes of taking pictures. And I'm going to use Jessica as an example today because I was helping her with this. So surprise, you didn't know, but I'm going to help because it's good to walk through. She posted an amazing post describing what the products do, what the business, how they make her feel, and was really connecting to her audience in the caption. But then what happened is their pictures, they were clustered because they had 3 different pictures where if I were to see that, it would look almost like spammy for a second. And I say, are you trying to sell someone or are you trying to impact someone? Okay, because there's if you're trying to just get a sale, and so you're just posting to get a sale, there's going to be a disconnect with your audience. Think of when you go to the mall and you have those people in the mall that are down your throat, try this, let me do your hair, let me do whatever, it's pushy. So what I had her do is step back and be like, I want to see you. It doesn't have to be a perfect picture of you. It doesn't have to be a presetted picture. Not everyone is going to be doing that. And I don't need you to sit and compare. Well, I don't have a preset. I don't have clear pictures. No, I want you to do what makes your heart happy. But I also want you to be able to get your clarity and your message across to your audience where they want to stop and read what you're posting. So having one picture really helps. It can be anything, you guys. I take pictures and I'll have pictures that I've taken for the last couple weeks that I haven't used, and I'll look through them and just get inspired by something I was going through at that time, and even try talking about that. I when I'm posting to my audience, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, but also help them understand they are the key. That's kind of my brand. When you think of Brittany and you think of my brand, mine's fitness, mine's mom, mine's business owner, mine's wedding right now. Your 5s are constantly changing. Mine's dog mom, mine's podcast. I have a few different things that I can pull from. And it doesn't have to be picture perfect all the time, but it has to be you. And content brings people back to your page. Branding is what keeps them branding is what brings people to your page. Content is what keeps people coming back. So Krissa, I'm just gonna have her chat real fast. I don't know if, even though her kids are probably yelling, I'm just kidding, because real life, mom life. But the thing is, Krissa has been really focused on her brand and switching it up. And just by doing things different even than or doing things different even than any of us, it makes her her. So Krista, when you looked at your profile just real fast, and when we kind of chatted about this about a few weeks ago, what was one thing that kind of switched when it came to the content that you were creating? Because your stories, your posts, all those are gold. And I kind of wanted to connect with you on that part. I muted you.
So, okay.
There.
Okay, work that time. So yeah, if my kids yell, they for real were awful on my last Zoom, but it's fine. So I think, so I kept making, and I'll just be real, I kept making excuses, I don't know what I want to post, and this wasn't a problem for me in my past businesses. I didn't have this problem, and when someone broke it down, who was it that maybe it was you, I don't know, but it was can y'all hear me fine? My connection's saying so. Okay. It was if you continue, it was M's training last week or week before last or whatever, where she was if you're constantly like, who am I? Who am I? Oh my gosh, my branding's not right. Am I this? Am I that? What's my 5 things? Like, that was me. I continued like to wonder, well, that's not about being mom. Like, I can't make this post. That's not about being this. It's not about being that. So that was me getting stuck in that spot of thinking I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my branding was about. Like, I was just confused. When in reality, all I needed to do was just show up and speak from my heart. Like, it's okay if you don't have it figured out. It's okay if you don't always know what your 5s are. Your post doesn't always have to be about, a certain thing. Like, it's okay, just show up and speak what's on your mind. Like, I've had a calling to talk more about like the co-parenting stuff that I go through and stuff like that. And I know Kiana shared a lot about this too, just being able to share certain things. But I mean, that's who we are. We have to connect somehow. And everything that like I do may not work for you. I know, like I told Brittany, Lindsay will post, she can post about being a promoter on almost every post.
I can't hear you. You like went away. Can you guys hear her?
No.
Krista, come back.
Okay.
You're back.
Okay. It's gotta be my freaking computer. I don't know. I need a new computer. Like, we about to manifest it. It's fine. But I kept going on my page and I was like, I think I've been really posting pretty good. I think I've been doing pretty good at sharing myself. I've stepped up my game on my stories and stuff, and it's me. Like, I don't go out of my way to be like, oh, Brittany posted this, let me try it. Brittany made this story, let me try it. Like, I've really just been like, what do I want to post? How do I want to do my capsules in the morning? Almost all the time, like, I do the boomerang. That's what works for me. I don't have to go on here and do all this extra stuff, and I just show up as me, and that's the main thing. So I was like, and then I started second guessing myself, and I texted Brittany, and I was like, can you go do a social media audit? The boys are waving at you. Aw. I don't think it's on my home screen, so I didn't see it. But I had to just text Brittany, and I was like, can you just look at my page, see if I'm doing everything right? And she was like, everything looks good. It's more conversations is the key. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm dreading. Like, that was my thing. And I know we've talked about all this, but if you go to my page, it truly does reflect who I am, what my life is like, how my daily life is. My stories show whether I'm at football or at tumbling or, just all the things. You have to be a person. You have to be a human. If I go to your page and you're nothing but thrive, that's not going to cut it. Like she said, when someone comes to your page, it's just like that you're walking down the mall and those kiosks or whatever, and they're like, hey, do you want this shampoo? No, bro, I don't even know you. You're
I really feel like you're spitting fire right now. Krista.
and they were like, oh my gosh, I lost 60 pounds in the last 30 days and blah, blah. Okay, but how did you feel? You don't talk about you have energy. You don't talk about how it made you feel this, or it's, helping your body. I don't care about the weight loss. And that's what I tell my people on my Instagram. I don't get on here and talk about, oh, you can lose 50 pounds in 2 months. No, I talk about how it makes me do this, and this, and I keep up with my kids and I feel great. My results speak for themselves. If you're constantly showing up for yourself with the products, with the business, your results are going to speak for yourself. That's it. I mean,
I love that. No, I freaking love that because honestly, and that was the one thing when people ask for like social media audits, I don't I really truthfully trust you because it's not my business. This is your business. And I can't be like, hey, you're doing it wrong. You have to stop trying to get approval, and trust you and tap into your potential there. And that's the thing, like the thing you guys, where Krista and like my leaders that are really like leading when it comes to these areas is they still show up. Yes, it may be hard at days. Yes, it may be like they're having that growth period, but you guys got to embrace the growth, because if you're trying to run from the growth, and you're going through things but not being consistent, there's where the disconnect is. When you are learning to tap into that growth and stay close to the fire and not like compare, like you guys, I don't even look at leadership stories right now because I'm in my own lane. And the reason why is because I can get stuck in that perspective too. But you know, when I do the best in business, when I feel the fire the most, when I am on like impact mode, enrollment, is when I'm not looking to the left or the right. When I'm just waking up and saying, what's on my heart today? What can I connect to today? But I'm consistent. And so my blinders are on. And when I say like my blinders are on, it's like, you don't overthink it. Don't overthink what you're doing. Embrace you, embrace the consistency. And I love Kiana's going to help me with these areas because like these are the areas, you guys, like as a leadership team, find the people that you connect with within our team that you can talk to. It doesn't have to be me. I'm a red personality. I'm going to tell you probably not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So if maybe that's not what you need at that moment and you need to be like more coddled and coached through, maybe go to a different leader. And that's the thing about it. You have to figure out what works for you, but embrace you and not overthink what your purpose is. The success is knowing your purpose in life, growing to reach your maximum potential, and sowing seeds that benefit others. Success is not about just money or like all these splashy things. Success is knowing your purpose, knowing where you want to be in life. This business, you guys, when I say I don't just sell health and wellness shakes and vitamins and stuff, it's not just about that. Like I was texting Gia because I want to do a freaking event in New York and go speak and have fellow podcast people and networking people and organize an event out in New York at the end of the year. It's not just this. It's allowed me to have options, time freedom, financial freedom, not just settling. And this is where you guys have to really embrace. Leadership can give you all the tools that you need to succeed. We have all the exact same trainings, but we all train differently. Like if I were to ask Kiana to help me with something, she would advise me differently than, Gia would or Crystal would. We all train differently and we all do things differently. But the one thing is we show up. And there's a lot of when you're like trying to figure out what the missing piece is, honestly, a lot of times the missing piece is you. Are you committed to your growth? Are you committed to your potential? Are you committed to your awareness? Because those are the things that are going to get you to each day. Every single day I fail at something that allows me to do something different. I was failing as a leader. And not because I don't get results. My team gets results. I know how to get people to 4K. I know how to coach. I know how to get people to 12K. I can pop numbers all dang day. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to change lives. My results show for themselves by the women that message me, calling me, crying to me, saying, thank you for being you and not wavering in you because you've helped me overcome this or you've helped me overcome this. And it can look different for each and every single one of you. Not everyone has to be like me where I'm just, sometimes I don't have a filter or sometimes, I do. There was times I was operating in, you all dealt with me, micromanagement mode. And I had to be like, okay, I had to take a step back and be like, what am I going through right now that I'm trying to avoid and not overcome? And honestly, if it wasn't for like a couple really good heart to heart talks with some of my other leaders, I don't think I would have worked through it as soon as I did and still working through it. And that's why I'm telling you guys this tonight. Hold into the fire, but plug into the fire. Like, you can't expect to go anywhere if your foot's not on the pedal. Your car won't drive. So when you're putt-putting along, you're putt-putting along because you're not pushing the gas. The inconsistency with not posting or doing your income producing activities or having the conversations or going through the self-growth, guys, growth is not fun. Like, you think I wanted to be like talking to my leaders crying? I don't like crying. I'm pretty like I'm like a turtle. I'm really like hard on the outside and then really soft on the inside. And I don't allow people to see that side of me all the time. And I had to start being like, okay, Britt, my leaders, my girls, my tribe, they need to see you sometimes for like all the things, all the vulnerabilities, just like we need to see who you are, and that's where tapping into people through in our tribe, but not doing the complaining thing, not doing like the lack mindset, for me, social media do's and don'ts come along with branding and growth. When you do social media and don'ts, I don't want to tell you guys like you can't build your business the way you want to build your business, but I can give you tips that help you grow a little bit better with your audience and your connections. And so one thing I want to tap in, and then I'm going to talk about the last two things, is when it comes to social media, consistency, obviously we talk about this all dang day. Obviously consistency. I don't need to talk about that part. But what I do want to talk about is not posting so close together. I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you want to post like every 15 minutes all dang day, that's totally fine. But what I'm trying to help you do is get the maximum amount of impact and visibility on your page. Because there's someone that needs to read who you are or what you're going through or the thing that you shared, and not just posting to post or going through the motions. Okay? You can't just go through the motions and expect to build value, because this business won't change your life unless you're really trying to dig deep. You can't have a carrot always at the end of your stick that keeps you motivated. Does that make sense? A lot of us, and I'm going to call it like it is, a lot of us have a microwave mindset still, because at the end of the day, there's bonuses or there's credits or there's whatever on the line. And so we operate differently. But then when those things go away and we get into, real life and there's nothing to work for, that's where your vision needs to come in, you guys. This is where vision is so important. And I know I talk about self-development and everything's different for everyone, but vision, where do you see yourself honestly in 2 years? It's like truly, like if you had no limitations on yourself, no limitations, like if you could remove every fear, every self-doubt, every obstacle that you allow your mind to go and play in your brain, where would you see yourself if you removed those off of yourself? Those desires right there that you're thinking of as I talk, those are yours. They're already freaking yours. God wouldn't put those on your heart if they weren't meant to be yours. So those obstacles, those growth, those overcoming moments, the moments that you're not understanding why, the point of even showing up sometimes, that's for you to overcome and share about. Maybe you're in a bad relationship and you want out and you don't know how to get out. And there's someone that needs a voice. You don't have to talk directly about your circumstances, but you can talk about your feelings. And you can talk about the things that you're learning as you're discovering you and your worth. It doesn't have to be like, and I'm saying this because when I was with my previous company, I was in an abusive alcoholic marriage and no one knew, because I tried to paint a pretty picture all the dang time and act like I had my life together all the dang time. And I was struggling behind the scenes. And that's not what I do here. This is why this tribe is so different. This is why we change lives so differently, because I want you to embrace the moments that you're growing through. If it wasn't for that divorce, that alcoholic relationship, I would have never leveled up into the woman I am today. Straight up. So maybe those mountains you're climbing right now, those are the mountains that are taking you to your valley or your mountain tops to show other women that you can move them as well. But you have to commit. You have to keep your pedal to the metal. You have to embrace who you are and the desires of your heart. The excuses that you make on a daily, guess what, you guys? They're still there tomorrow, and you're still justifying certain things, or you're still justifying certain actions or certain mindsets or certain gossip or certain slander or certain whatever. You're wondering why your vibe may be off. Who are you hanging around? Your vibe predicts your tribe. The 5 people you're around the most, or what is a reflection of your life? Does it align with the future you're trying to build? So these are the questions I try to really get, and you guys, I don't know why. I feel like since the last 6 months and me really like growing and like I'm getting ready to get married, and I know Kiana's gonna like go through this as well, so I'm here for you, girl. But like when you grow and you're preparing for a new season in your life, something that's so beautiful and exciting, God has a way of like really pruning out anything that doesn't need to go with you into that future. And it's good. And sometimes like there's things, you guys, that I've dealt with over the last 6 months that I wouldn't wish like my enemy on. Like, because it's hard, obviously. But guess what? You're built for it, or you wouldn't be going through it. Straight up. So I'm going to talk about the detox process. I know I'm all over the place. This is me. Detox process. I've been hearing a lot of questions on this, you guys. A lot of questions, and I really want to explain it correctly. I'm not a vitamin nurse, doctor, guru when it comes to these like steps. All I know is that they work. They make me feel amazing. So if you're wanting a more detailed explanation, honestly, Jenna, Jordan Lonley, Gia, like all have really good, like Lindsay, like they all have really good knowledge when it comes to the scientific parts. I don't know. When you ask me, all I know is they go in and repair my body and they help me feel bomb.com. So that's what the answer you're going to get from me. And that's what the answer I give to 99% of my clients. So when I hear detox process and they're asking like, okay, I have headaches, or I feel tired, or I am feeling like, sick, whatever. First off, how much water, and you're going to hear me talk about this till I'm blue in the freaking face, because this is literally the freaking key. How much water are you drinking? I drink 6,000 water bottles. Okay, how many ounces is 6,000 water bottles for you? I need to know how many, because some people don't really say what they're really doing. Okay, this is why we have to coach them through it. You need to be drinking a gallon of water a day. When you're in a detox process, the first, it can take up to a couple weeks. Everybody's body is different. Okay. I had a customer literally call me 2.5 weeks in, finally crying because she was ready to return my product. She was pissed at me. And I said, no, you're not. You're going to freaking listen to me and do this the right way. Because your water intake is so bad and you're sleeping 2 hours a night and you're not eating. And then you're expecting to have one meal a day. And then you're wondering why you feel like crap. So if you listen to me and need help you work through the product and take it to correctly and not overthink and let your mind spiral, I promise you'll be thanking me later. You guys, a lot of people that deal with anxiety overthink. So if you have a client that is dealing with mental support, guess what? Most of the time, they're probably playing every single scenario over in their head. It is your job to help walk them through it and ease it. Okay? Our products, detox process, not everyone experiences it. Water intake is so important. You're putting the purest forms of all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the enzymes, all the pre and probiotics, everything your body needs to run at its best. It's the purest form. I know when I take a over-the-counter vitamin from whatever that looks like a horse pill, I would throw it up because it would make my stomach so upset if I didn't eat on it. So imagine what purest form of premium nutrition would do if you're not taking the water intake and the eating correctly. Okay? That's all I'm going to say because I feel like we've had so many trainings on that, but I really feel like that's really key. And then I want to talk about this, and then I promise I'm done. I don't know if any of my other leaders, you guys can pop in and say anything else, but do you believe in your potential? See, I'm so back and forth. I told you I'm going back and forth tonight because I feel like I have things on my heart, and if it's on my heart, I just go with it. So squirrel brain, whatever it's called. Do you believe in your potential? Do you believe in who you are inside before you had people talk behind your back, before you had people talk about you to your face, before you had your spouse doubt what you're doing, before you had every fear in the book come into your head after you started, before you had, life and all the circumstances you've been dealt make or break the woman you are. Do you believe in your potential? Do you believe in you? What are you here for? It's not just your kiddos or your spouse or your future or financial freedom. You got to do this for you, baby girl. This is not for anyone else but you. Everything else will work itself out when you're being the highest version of you, but not making it complicated like it's a race. It is not a race. It is not like, I have this amount of time to be making $10,000 a month or my life's over. No. But you want to know one thing I do know? Each and every single one of you is a 6-figure earner. If you can commit to yourself for the next year and grow, not overthink, and then not show up because of guilt. I notice that we get in these paths when we're like, every level brings new devils. And if you're not believing in your potential, this is where you're going to waver. You can't consistently act in a matter of inconsistency with the way you see yourself. If you don't believe that you have potential, you'll never try to reach it. And if you aren't willing to work towards your potential, you'll never see success. Do I need to repeat that? Because I feel like everyone needs to hear this again. You cannot consistently act in a matter of inconsistency with the way you see yourself. If you don't believe you have potential, you will never try to reach it. And if you aren't willing to work towards it, your potential will never see success. I love you guys so much. You guys are freaking badass women that literally have so much potential, so much strength, so much courage, so much unstoppableness in you. It's not about a number or a rank or who enrolls the most. It's about your growth. I don't know who's unmuted, but I like you. And it sounds like water. It's relaxing me. But I love you guys. And I just wanted to take a moment to pop in and like just pour in a little bit. I feel like we've been in this like training nonstop, that I just wanted you guys to know like who you really are inside is the way that your heart keeps trying to tug you to. The things that you're avoiding are often the things that you need to go down. And I'm saying this because as a leader, I had to get real with my leadership and how I was leading you guys. Because you guys deserve the best version of me, so I can help you be the best version of yourself. And I'm thankful because if it wasn't for the women in my leadership group, I wouldn't be the woman I am. And I owe it to them, straight up. Because honestly, we all bring something to the table, just like you all bring something to the table. It's not about being perfect or having it all together. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. Okay? Stop sitting in your excuses. This is your month. I'm committed to helping you guys get wherever you want to go, along with everyone in this tribe. So let's commit. I want to hear some of your goals if you haven't shared them. And then I want to hear an action plan of what you can do that aligns with your work ethic. Not like having it picture perfect and, all the balls to the walls, but aligns with you. Okay? I don't know if anyone needs any